What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Sunday. That's right. I couldn't leave you hanging. Had to make a video. Obviously, having a look, nothing. It's another boring day in the market, but it's not that boring because I have some really interesting things to talk about today. In fact, that's why I made this video. There's one indicator in particular that we never talk about that could potentially signal some bullish moves. Is it going to be instantly? Maybe not, but stick around and we're going to get into that. But as usual, let's have a look at the markets. First thing that jumps out to me right off the bat, Bitcoin dominance is down another 0.2%, which means that, it's going, well, where's it going is the question. It's going somewhere, right? If the market cap is the same and Bitcoin dominance is pulling back, well, for starters, it might be going into Ethereum. Ethereum is up 2.79% today. As you can see, it's increasing its distance from XRP, which is still in third position, and Litecoin at $43.44. Now, having a look at the biggest gainers of the day, my goodness, we have storage up 46.83%. Who's pumping storage? Also, what was the news with storage? I didn't hear anything about it, so this could just be one of those like fluke pumps or something. We also have Neo gas up today. The volume is incredible, $32 million worth of trading volume. Now, I know Neo DevCon was happening over the weekend, so it tends to be a buy the rumor, sell the news. I remember last Neo DevCon, Neo was doing quite well, but it actually lost a little bit during the conference. Even for example, when Tron had Nitron, it was all about the pump up to it, and then it kind of sold off, right? So I was thinking to myself, it wasn't really going to go up. Now, if we scroll down here, you can see Neo is only up 4%, but man, gas. So congratulations to anybody that scooped that up. We also have KuCoin shares up, ARK up, Quant yet again, 9%, Power Ledger 7, Komodo 6, Veritasium, Project Pi, and we already talked about Neo. So having a look at our good old buddy Bitcoin, well, not too much is happening, which is why we're not going to harp on this until I tell you what's going on with these indicators, but I basically drew this line right here, and it's not like I'm not like making it a full-fledged line. I just noticed there's been some support here, and it was funny because I just drew this morning before this wick had even gone down, and it literally pulled right back up. So we've had a pretty incredible 24 hours, as you can see right here. We had Bitcoin spiking all the way up to 3,600, and then dumping all the way down to 3,553, and now we've stabilized at the price we are now. Now, I know you can't see this up here with this wick because the numbers are in the way, but I still think that this $3,700 wick that we had back here on February 8th, I think that's what we really need to beat. If we can go higher than that, then I think it's blue skies ahead. Until then, I'm still keeping my eyes on this channel, and if you guys want to know what I'm doing specifically, go back to a video. I don't even know what video it was. It was like 4 videos ago, and I tell you exactly what I'm doing, guys. Now, the thing I want to point out is that for the first time since July of 2018, Bitcoin is actually on track to record its first green monthly candle. Remember we had spoke about this with Bob Lucas, and he was saying, I highly doubt we're going to see another red one, although it's possible, but he was basically saying, I don't think we're going to see one, right? So according to Josh Rager, he's also a trader, he says that if Bitcoin remains above the $3,414 mark by the end of this month, we will establish a green monthly candle. He says that it's working on its first green month candle since July 2018. The past 6 months, Bitcoin has seen red on monthly. A break and close below 3,413 will continue the red monthly trend. So let's hope that that is not the case. Now, I wanted to go into this article pretty much from Crypto Daily.
Dollars is what I need. Hey.
Not that Crypto Daily, the website Crypto Daily. And they're talking about Bitcoin shorts. So if you don't know what Bitcoin shorts are, they're essentially people putting in orders to short Bitcoin. This is them right here. You can see it fluctuates just like anything else. Right now, you can see it's a lot lower than where it has been. So getting back to this article, it says that the number of shorts has now actually fallen back to its trendline support, which has not been tested since February of 2018. So that's like a year ago, guys. So the daily chart also shows that Bitcoin USD shorts is trading within a descending channel and a rising wedge at the same time, both of which are extremely bearish setups. So the most likely scenario at this point is that Bitcoin shorts will have to break below the rising wedge and continue trading within the descending channel. So considering that this is something that has not happened in more than 14 months, Crypto Daily says they believe that a break below the trend line support to the Bitcoin USD shorts will shatter the bearish resolve, and a lot of bears would close their short positions, which would see Bitcoin rising towards its previous market structure around $6,000. In fact, I don't know if you guys watch the Cryptoverse. Chris Coney actually just put a video out. He closed his short this morning. He actually did it. I don't know if he did it live, but he put a video out showing himself closing his short, okay? So moving on also, they say it's too early to tell if the price will continue to rise past the previous market structure, but we believe panic closing of these shorts or liquidations would be the catalyst that would see Bitcoin rise to $6,000, okay? Don't get too excited though, okay? I'm just letting you guys know this is a possibility. So let's talk about the other side. Investors that expect a fall to $3,000 at this point should realize that everything is in favor of a massive rally to the upside at this stage. The 1 hour chart for Bitcoin shows the price trading within a bull flag that could break to the upside at any time now. There is a risk that the crossover of the 50 and 20 moving averages on the 1 hour chart might lead to short-term downside over the weekend. However, this setup still remains very bullish, and it should be accepted as such by accumulating at these levels instead of selling. That's their words, not mine. Always not financial advice on my channel, but the sentiment right now is extremely bearish, and there's not much that could happen at this time that could make anything worse. Well, we could go lower. I guess that could make it worse, but then again, it could also make it better for people trying to buy cheap, right? And as you guys know, I don't do professional TA, which is why I do refer to others on the channel. Hopefully, you know that by now. So yeah, having a look at these shorts, you can see it right here. This is on Bitfinex, and yeah, so that is something that cannot be denied. Now, this is what I really wanted to talk about, and this is called the Mayer multiples, the metric that helps call Bitcoin bubbles and bottoms. Now, you know Trace Mayer, he's the guy that was all about proof of keys, remember, taking your money off the exchanges and stuff like that. Well, the Mayer multiple is defined as the multiple of the current Bitcoin price over the 20-day moving average, and this could play a key for an indication of where we could be moving forward, guys. So basically, the equation is Bitcoin market price over 20-day moving average equals Mayer multiplier, okay? So in technical analysis, it's generally considered a bullish or positive indicator when prices are above the long-term moving average, whereas it's considered bearish or negative when the price is below the moving average. Although I know there's some jokes going around, like we just keep going to the longest moving average, like oh, this one didn't work, we'll go to this one, and that one didn't work, we'll go to that one, right? Well, anyway, all jokes aside, the Mayer multiple essentially quantifies the gap between the price and the 200-day moving average to identify historical values at which point Bitcoin enters a speculative bubble. So in other words, when its price significantly exceeds its intrinsic value or points of seller exhaustion. Now, we could zoom in over here and have a little bit of a look at it. So currently, it looks like we're actually relatively low, but let's keep on reading and then we'll have a look and see where we are and compare, let's see what we're doing, right? So they say any multiple above 2.4 threshold has historically shown to signify the beginning of a speculative bubble, which is significant because all bubbles eventually burst, causing a rapid depreciation. So by conducting simulations based on historical data, Mayer deduced that the best long-term results were gathered by accumulating Bitcoin when the Mayer multiple was below 2.5. Now, if we come over here to Twitter, there actually is an account. I just found out about this account this morning. I didn't even know about it. It's called the Mayer multiple, and it's tip Mayer multiple. So it says February 17th, 2019, the current Mayer multiple is 0.69. So if we go back over here, it says that the best time for accumulation is anything under 2.4, and we're currently sitting at 0.69. So this is very much lower than that, right? So just for reference, the 2013 to 2015 bear market reached a price bottom when the multiple showed 0.407, and the lowest multiple since then was 0.509. So since that original bottom, we've never seen one lower than 0.509, and we are at 0.69. Just want to keep showing you where we are. So as the data suggests, Bitcoin's price is now reaching historically oversold levels, so it's presumed a bottom is in sight, but it is still capable of falling further away from the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $343. Further evidence suggests that it's highly likely the price finding acceptance above the 200-day moving average, creating a mere multiple above 1, would confirm the beginning of a bull market. And above 1 mere multiple could be considered a sign of very, very positive news moving forward. Now, let's also talk about our good old buddy, Brian Kelly. He is the author of The Bitcoin Big Bang, How Alternative Currencies Are About to Change the World. Brian Kelly calls himself an optimist when it comes to the future of cryptocurrencies. CNBC's prominent commentator, who is also the founder and CEO of digital currency investment firm BKCM LLC, analyzes markets on an everyday basis and tends to be 50% right trading-wise. Well, I guess if you were right 50% of the time, you'd be doing all right. However, unfortunately, most people probably remember Brian Kelly as being the guy who taught the crypto class on how to buy Ripple at $2.57 and then how to sell it at 71 cents. That joke will never get old, but let's give the guy a break. 2018 was a rough year. So basically, they talked to him, they had an interview, and he says, as an investor, my number one concern is price. I look at the price and I say that we've seen 3 or 4 of these kind of boom and bust cycles in Bitcoin. If you look at the most recent 2 or so, we've followed roughly the same path as we've had before, which means we're somewhere close to the end. Might we dip lower? Wouldn't surprise me. Then they go, you mean lower than 3,000? He says, sure. It wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin's price went to 1,500. Although, like we said before, a lot of people are expecting the price to go that low, so we wouldn't be surprised if we saw the whales putting buy orders in just above that, right? Because they don't want it to go that low. They want to buy the Bitcoin before you do, right? So then they ask him, how do you feel about it short term? He says, I think very short term, I think we're coming to an end. He said, here's the thing. The sellers that we've recently looked at are almost forced sellers. Some CEOs had to raise cash because they say they can't hold it in crypto all the time. These are signs of the end. I don't know if this is actually the end of the cycle or if we could go lower, but I could tell you that these are signs of the end. In 2019, if I'm looking at it, the focus will be on currencies like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and things of that nature. And they say, and you feel it is contributing to the price. He says, yes, we're starting to see some global macro players use Bitcoin as an alternative, right? He talks about having quite a bit of geopolitical tension in the world, like what we see with Venezuela and Argentina and these other countries. So he says that, and even established ones are actually moving away from gold, selling some of their gold positions and going into, crypto just as a hedge. Not much, obviously, clearly. But so anyway, they say one more important question for you. Will there be an ETF in 2019? No shot. Sorry, guys. He says no shot. Okay, so from a trading point of view, what are the major signs or indicators of bullish and bearish markets? He says you have to look at bottoms and tops. He says, I can remember in November and December, and even frankly in January last year, I was getting phone calls daily like, hey, how can I get into your fund? I need to get into that. And, we over here, we do a monthly entry, and it's not something that you get into every day. He says that was happening at the peak. I don't know about you guys, but I remember when Bitcoin was at the peak, I was getting phone calls from friends and family, people I hadn't talked to since high school asking me about Bitcoin, right? Now, at the bottom, he says the phone doesn't ring. It's the exact opposite. The euphoria that we saw last year is a mirror image of the pessimism we're seeing now. And so what you want to look at for bottoms are extreme pessimism. Well, just go on crypto Reddits, right? All you see is doom and gloom. We're going lower. It's the end. Burn all the shitcoins, right? I mean, it's very, very negative stuff. Although I do agree that we do need to get rid of some of those shitcoins. But that being said, guys, he also goes on to say, what about fundamental analysis? He says it's interesting. We have a proprietary model that gives us fair value for people. And in his opinion, right now, Bitcoin is about 50% undervalued. So you could have a significant upside. He says we've seen that a couple times last year. We saw that little pump in April. But he says that's what I'm talking about with sentiment. So the sentiment in the market has pushed the price of Bitcoin well below what you would consider a fair value, or at least what I would consider a fair value. And that's another sign that we are near the bottom. Never going to live this one down, though. But hey, what are you going to do, guys? 2018 was a rough year. So talking about some fundamentals, I hope that kind of breaks down the overall feeling about what could potentially be happening with Bitcoin. But I do want to get into some Bitcoin fundamentals. And I also have some really interesting stories that I want to go into. So you guys definitely want to stick around for those. But basically, long story short, Lightning Network capacity is up 38% since the Lightning Torch was created. The number of channels that are connecting nodes for the first time has also grown visibly, totaling 27,295 unique channels. The Lightning sits at a capacity of 695.89 Bitcoin, which is an equivalent of $2.5 million. The number of nodes on the network has also increased 18% in the past month, citing 6,321 nodes in total. There are 3,300 channels. And this comes as 50%. But anyway, guys, I just want to point out, like, Lightning Network's growing. Last 24 hours, 666 new channels. Yeah, so this is just all really good news moving forward. You guys, and if you guys ever want to know, you could go, I don't have it pulled up, but you just go to 1ml.com, okay? So 1ml.com, and you can find all the statistics for what's going on with the Lightning Network, okay? Now, I thought this story was hilarious. So JP Morgan literally comes out with their JPM coin, right? And now their banking services online experienced an outage this morning. You can't make this stuff up. The outage impacted online and mobile banking, which happens to follow the announcement about the JPM coin. To add to the frustration, this outage is much like the one that Wells Fargo experienced, which is another U.S. bank. You guys know what happened with Wells Fargo, right? So the outage only occurred 11 days ago, leaving customers unable to access their accounts online. The outage also impacted the mobile app for Wells Fargo, just like it did with JP Morgan Chase. So right now, they said there's nothing to show exactly how severe the outage was, but it appears that anything that is web-based is not working. Everything has been reportedly down since 2:47 a.m. UTC. Now, they have come out with a statement since then. This was 10:47 a.m. They said, our website and mobile app have been back to full strength since before dawn's early light, but you can see down here people are still complaining, saying, what was the problem? Most importantly, is our information safe? She says it's back up and running, but the cash I deposited in the ATM hasn't posted. This person says still can't log in. Nope, still down. Okay, now it's working. So yeah, but hey, these are the guys that you're going to trust with their JPM coin, right? To send remittances and move money all around the world, but yet they're having outages and people can't access their online banking. So just got to be real with that, guys. Do you know how much the Bitcoin network has been down in the past 10 years of existence? It's a fraction. Like, let's put it this way. It's been up and running over I believe it's 99.9 or 99.3%, okay? And the only reason that it was down was way, way, way back early in the days. There was some stuff they were doing where there was long times between blocks and stuff like that. But I mean, guys, this was like ancient Bitcoin history, it's so just pointing that out, guys. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about this. So we had the discussion about Atonomi and are they exit scamming? So you have Vaughn Emery. He says, as the founder of Atonomi, I'm watching and will rejoin the discussion when needed. This is one of those times. I got an update from the company yesterday. They are working hard and focused on customer wins. They are committed and not distracted by comments from the uninformed. Okay, well, scrolling down here, you can see a lot of people are pissed off. Look, SEC should take a close look. What about DNA dumping on day one? Look, all these people are tagging the SEC. We've got one. Look into this. Now here, remember the other day I showed you what David had said? This is another person posting this. So Vaughn actually responded and he said, David worked for me as a consultant and was ineffective at anything other than blockchain theory. He presented himself as a product guy, but knew nothing about our product and no one wanted to work with him. He was anything but a founder. This is why he is not around. To which this person replies, you've touched on point one, but haven't mentioned his more damning claims. Any comments on the nepotism, pivot from blockchain, mass layoffs, funds being siphoned off into a failing non-blockchain side company, or just the fact that you guys refuse to pay the guy? I mean, listen, if the guy say he's a crappy employee, right? Sure, you could lay the guy off, but you have to still pay him for the time he was around. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you fire an employee, you still have, you should ethically, I think legally, you should pay the guy, right? For the time that he at least was a part of the business. So Yeah, so that's the response that we have right now. We will be keeping an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on it. That's all we could do. Now, speaking of exchanges, you are not going to believe there are still more things surfacing about Quudriga. Apparently, analysis is strongly indicating that QudrigaCX's that QudrigaCX in general was a front business. Okay. This is crazy. By the way, this article is really, really long. I'm not going to go into it. You guys can read it. I'll drop it below. But to break down these main points, the blockchain analysis shows that QudrigaCX received tens of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin from objectively illegal sources, such as dark market wallets, in such a way where it cannot be argued that they were ignorant to these transactions. Funds from the cold wallet addresses were mixed in an attempt to obfuscate their origin, which is highly unusual for any legitimate, legally operating entity in the position of QudrigaCX. Can you imagine Coinbase doing a coin mixing to try to obfuscate the transactions? That'd be crazy. These guys that are being compliant want to be as transparent as possible, so that's a red flag. Much of the money that QudrigaCX had access to is inexplicable. For instance, the estimated liquidated total far exceeds what QudrigaCX should have been able to glean from simply absconding all of their customers' funds. And finally, funds from cold wallet addresses, and get this, guys, were sent directly to illicit parties, such as the Silk Road, hacked exchanges, and known Ponzi schemes. Transfers to dark market websites are simply indefensible in any circumstance. Again, it must be reiterated, these were not user-generated withdrawals or deposits. They were transactions that QudrigaCX intentionally and manually did themselves. So the rabbit hole is going very deep on this, guys. Now, if you want all the information, look, this is a very long article. They break everything down. Look, they go into the transactions. They show you how, they really, kudos to these guys for putting this together. This is an excellent research. So, but definitely check that out, guys. At this point, I am so sorry for those that were affected, but this is just not looking good, guys. Now, speaking about other exchanges and more things happening, we know that we had the Binance delisting of, Cloak Mod, Salt, Substratum, and Wings. Now, Substratum took to Twitter and they said that we have become aware of our Binance delisting on February 15th. We have reached out to Binance for an explanation. As soon as we have more information, we will make it available. Development of Substratum continues and we are moving forward with monetization, security, and usability. To which you have some replies below. You have, again, working product made price and not exchange. By the way, I hold some sub and loss with your product, but not because of Binance delisting, but because of the project team and founders. To which CZ gives a thumbs up. And then you have Abram Cookson, I guess he's the CIO of Substratum. I don't follow the project that closely, guys, but he says, project team founders don't like my team devs thrown into the fire with a single emoji. They work hard daily and commit to the public repo. Was it me? Did I make false claims? Just curious. To which CZ replied, maybe stop trading the funds you raised that was intended for product devs. Anyway, we'll observe Cunningham's law and stop responding. Wish all the best. By the way, Cunningham's law, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically like an internet term that means, I might be misquoting this, but you're better off presenting the wrong information because then the trolls will attack you and give you the right information rather than ask a question because most people won't respond. The more you know, I don't know, something like that. But basically that's what they're saying. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a video where they were basically saying that they were using their reserves, they were trading, they were essentially gambling, right? So this is just one kind of post over here on Reddit. They said, CZ said they caught wind of Justin, the CEO, trading the ICO, Ethereum, and Bitcoin reserves to try to make more money. There was a video around, they took it down, but it says in most exchanges and even regulatory laws in similar regard, it's against the rules or even downright illegal to trade your investment funds from your ICO. Imagine a Silicon Valley startup gets a Series B funding and goes to Vegas and puts all the VC money on black. It's illegal, yo. Even if they ended up not trading it and they just said they were thinking about it, you can't do that. Well, you shouldn't do that. You're not really supposed to talk about things, like the Howey test that have anything to do with, potential gains or losses, right? And, it says he even admitted that he sold 1,000 ETH at $200 just to buy back at $60, which, hey, great trade, but, gambling with investors' money. This guy says gambling with investors' money, that's only reserved for banks and pension funds, mate. That is really, really, really funny. So also, guys, while we're on the same topic of Binance, they do have this up and coming ICO, FetchAI. Regardless of your opinion of Binance and ICOs, I just wanted to let you guys know, they said it comes to our attention that MXC Exchange says you can buy Fetch tokens on their platform February 25th. This is not true. The only place you can participate in the token sale is on Binance Launchpad. That's, of course, if you can even get the site to work. But all jokes aside, seriously, guys, if you are considering investing in this ICO, which you know they're inherently very risky, be careful because they're saying that the tokens are not available, which is interesting because down here they say, but the FET MXC Exchange is true FET token. You will know we are not lying when it comes to February 25th. What does that even mean? You will know we are not lying. Fetch.ai themselves, the actual ICO themselves, is saying it will not be available. So, who are you going to believe on that one? So just figured I'd, point that out. Also, kind of on a related topic to Binance, I know there's been a lot of controversy over, listing fees and extortion, a lot of different problems. But, that being said, Digibyte revealed that the test of Digi assets on its blockchain has begun. According to Digibyte, the pilot of Digi assets on its blockchain has begun, and its developers are testing the asset issuance, asset explorer, and wallet integrations as well. We also have some XRP news today, guys. We have the CEO and founder of crypto exchange eToro says that the company is exploring a partnership with Ripple. So Yanni Asia says he met with the Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse at the Paris FinTech Forum to discuss how the companies could collaborate. And he says, I think as a fintech company, it's very important for us to foster relationships with other fintech companies. Obviously, we're one of the largest trading platforms, with XRP. So very interested in forming a relationship with Ripple Labs and understanding what we can do together. Now, guys, getting on the topic of why gas is pumping crazy today is obviously because of Neo. So there were 5 new features that were announced at Neo 3.0. I'm not going to go into all of them right now because, for the length of the video. If you guys are interested, I'll drop this below. But to just summarize, essentially, you have native contracts, right? So that was the first one. So with these, you can run any native code directly, and they're embedded in the core without deployment, and contract upgrade does not cause hash changes. You also have, it says all assets created in smart contracts, internet resource access, improved DBFT consensus mechanism. This is actually kind of interesting. It says when the consensus nodes come back online, it needs to synchronize with other nodes, which takes time. In the new DBFT, Neo will add a recovery log and a recovery message, which means that the DBFT can truly make transactions irreversible. That's pretty cool. And then also you have Neo FS, which hopefully, will allow... Well, it says the cost is extremely high right now, which means it cannot offer a workable solution for enterprises just yet. So those are basically some of the things that were released. If you guys want, you can check that out below. We also have a statement coming out of Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin and a few other core developers have dismissed allegations that a new smart contract creation feature, this is the one we talked about the other day. We were worried about it. Could it affect the Constantinople hard fork? So the feature in question is the one that's referred to as Create 2, right? And it's intended to allow for interactions with contracts that don't exist on the blockchain, specifically addresses that do not exist yet but can be relied on to only possibly eventually contain code. So just really quick summarizing, several Ethereum developers had voiced concerns that Create 2 could introduce a potentially serious attack vector to the network, given the implication that smart contracts could purportedly be coded to change their address after being deployed. One question whether the feature doesn't mean that any contract post-Constantinople with a self-destruct function in its code is now more suspect than before, but they're saying that this isn't a problem, so that's directly from the team. So that's what we're going to have to go with for right now, guys. And finally, I want to talk about this ransomware called, these happen all the time. This one's called Gand Crab. It's recently started infecting people by pretending to be a love letter sent via email. So after infecting its victims, it instructs them to pay with either Bitcoin or Dash. So victims are approached by an email with a subject along the lines of, wrote my thoughts down about you, or I fell in love with you. And, inside the email, there's an attached file that says, love you 2018, followed by a bunch of random numbers. And then if you open it, it asks whether you'd like to see it in English, Korean, or Chinese, which they think indicates the countries that they're targeting. And after being asked for ransom in either Bitcoin or Dash, the victims are then told that if they don't pay within 7 days, the ransom is going to double. The attackers appear to be somewhat advanced, as it even features a live chat window. Wow, how's that for service? To help those who don't know how to use cryptocurrencies. Guys, what is going on? Hackers are officially using a help text window. You can't make this stuff up. Notably, the ransomware appears to deliberately avoid targeting Russian users. This could be a clue, as it stops the attack if it detects the victims have a Russian configured keyboard. So per Mimecast, this signals these campaigns are specifically designed to not target Russians. And if that doesn't make you happy before we go, although I'm not quite sure why that story would make you happy, but we do have this Bitcoin timepiece, and you can see right here, it has all the top cryptos in it, although right now, currently, these guys have, switched positions. But that being said, I thought it was pretty cool, and we are getting out of here, guys, because it is Sunday. What the heck are you watching crypto videos for? But then again, what the heck am I making crypto videos for? Ah, yes, I remember, because I freaking love you guys, and you guys are awesome, and it is a pleasure and an honor to have you here. Thank you for everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting, guys. As you know, we are still doing the Pivot swag bag giveaway on the blockchain brief. All you have to do is scan this barcode above my head right here, and you can also just head on over to the website. I will drop that below as well. As you know, guys, also Brave Browser, if you download it, you do get $5 worth of Brave Browser to use on the network, and you don't have to watch these damn pesky ads anymore. And also want to give a massive shout out to everyone that's been supporting the channel by keeping their crypto safe on a Ledger Nano S or Ledger Nano X. I really appreciate it, guys. As you know, all links are below, but I do not expect a damn thing from you guys. Stopping by, showing the support, showing your love is enough for me. And I want to say thank you for everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys freaking rule. That's it for me. It's Sunday, and I'm about to go enjoy my afternoon, and you should do the same. Let's have a look real quick, though, before I go. Yeah, nothing. So, that being said, guys, my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and peace out.